Hey guys, welcome back. Lesson 110. So hopefully you watched the video that I sent for you to watch before this. That was not me. It's just a, YouTube video that talks about the difference between simple and compound interest. If you did not watch that video, then please go ahead and pause this one and go back and watch that. Because otherwise you'll be a little bit lost in this video, okay? So simple interest, just to recap, simple interest is just basic, like whatever your principal is, you get a certain percentage of that every year. So, for example, if you have a $10,000 principal and you get 10%, that's going to be $1,000 that you get every year, okay? So it's just plus 1,000, plus 1,000, plus 1,000 every single year. Compound interest is where you start out with a principal and then you have a percentage, so like 10%. So if you start out with a principal, I don't know if I said 1,000 or 10,000, but same thing as our first example. If you start out with a principal of 10,000 and then the first year you get 10% of that, so that's 1,000. So 10,000 plus 1,000. Now you have $11,000. So then the next year you calculate the 10%, not of the 10,000 again, but of the 11,000. So then you're getting even more the next year and so on. Okay. So hopefully that should make sense if you watched the other video, because they kind of showed it in a chart and everything. And your book also shows it in a chart. So look there too, if you're still having questions about that. It was just easier to go through a video on this one as well, so that it's a little bit more visual for you to be able to see that. The book also shows you how you can do it in the calculator. So that's helpful too, if you want to look at that, going through that process. So on here, what I wanted to do was, there was another example in the book that referred back to simple interest, but kind of had a little bit of a twist on it. So I wanted to make sure we worked through that one together, just so that you can understand that. And then this lesson also covered successive discounts, which was not covered in that video that I sent you. So our goal on here right now is to go over just one more example over simple interest, just to kind of help you iron out a little bit of a twist that was put on this one, and then to go over successive discounts. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that first one that I was talking about, the simple interest one. So it says, calculate the interest earned on an $8,000 deposit in 9 months if the annual interest rate is 6%. Okay, so the key here that I wanted you to pay attention to, the twist, if you will, is the 9 months part. Okay, so generally we're talking about like how much is earned in a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever, it's by years. So if we're talking about 9 months here, we could still set up our interest calculation the same way. We're still finding 6% of 8,000. So that's going to be the 0.06, because remember we turn that percent into a decimal, and then we multiply it by 8,000. Okay, so when you multiply that, you're going to end up with 480. So that's $480 that you are earning on your money. Okay, and then after that, we are talking about, but that would be after a whole year, okay? So after that, we've got to make sure that we are finding only 9 months worth out of the whole year, which a whole year would be 12 months. So we're really just calculating 480 times 9 over 12 to allow for only those 9 months that we are looking for here. So if you multiply that, which remember you can put this over 1, cross simplify if you can. So these two can cross simplify. This would become a 1. This would become a 40. So then 40 times 9 would be 360. 1 times 1 would just be 1. So then in 9 months, you would earn $360. Okay. So again, the key phrase is the 9 months part. Okay. We got to make sure when we're talking about interest, we're really generally going by years. So we would have to do a little step in there that would allow to break down that amount into 9 months instead of a full year. Okay. Let's look at one more. So this is where I want to talk about successive discounts. Successive discounts is when you take a discount, you discount something, and then you get a new price after you discount it. Then you want to discount again. So when that happens, the first discount is being taken off the original price. The second discount is not being taken off the original price, it's being taken off the new price that was the result of the first discount, okay? So let me show you how this works. So we are going to have two different tables here, okay, to help us. Oh, and you know what? That's a square. I don't want a square. I want a rectangle. So we're going to have two different tables here to help us set this up. Okay, so we'll have one where we've got, here we go. All right, so this one is going to be percent and actual. Okay, and then we always start with the original. And then the change. So this is a reduction. We haven't even read the problem yet, but it's a reduction. And then we'll have the new, okay? So maybe this is a good time to go back and read the problem. An appliance store reduced the price of a $400 washing machine 25%. When the washing machine did not sell at the sale price, the store reduced the sale price 20% to the clearance price. What was the clearance price of the washing machine? So in this first table, we are attempting to find the sale price, okay? So the first one, the discount of 25. So remember, in percentages, we always start at 100, okay? Then our change is either adding or subtracting to 100. So if this was a reduction by 25%, then we are subtracting 25%, which would leave us with 75%, okay? The original price we know was $400. So we are looking for what was the new price after that reduction. So remember, we can take these two pieces here, these two rows, and form a percent proportion, which would be 100 over 75 equals 400 over X. We could cross multiply, or in this case, we could look at it and say, oh, I do notice that I can multiply 100 times 4 to get me to that 400. So if that's what's happening on the top, that also has to be what's happening on the bottom. So 75 times 4, we could set that up over here and work that out. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. So then my result would have to be 300. So that means that after the first reduction, the sale price is $300. Okay, let's keep that in mind, because now we're going to clear out this part. Let's see. So let's clear that part out. Let's make one more little table here, because now we're going to do the same thing again, but this time our original price is going to be the 300 that we just found, okay? So we're going to basically make the same table all over again. So we've got percent, actual, original, change, which it's reducing again, so it's subtracting, and then the new, okay? So this time, like I said, you always start at 100%, but this time the original is $300, okay? And the percent change on this one is another 20% off. So we're taking 20% off of the 300 now, not off of the original 400. So then we're going to end up with 80%, and we don't know how much that's actually going to be, but that's what we're trying to find. So now we can take those two rows, just like we did before, and form our percent proportion. So 100 over 80 equals 300 over X. So then, similar to what we did in the last one, I can also say on this one, oh, I see that 100 times 3 is 300. So if that's what's happening on the top, that must also be what's happening on the bottom. So I know that 80 times 3 is actually 240. So that means that the clearance price of my washing machine has to be $240. And that's it. So when it's successive discounts, you have to solve it separately. You have to find the first discount, then set up an entirely new table using the new value as your original that time to find the second discount, okay? I know you guys got this. So I will let you go and get to work on your homework, and I'll see you for lesson 111. Bye, guys.